This evening, first up, fewer taxes, better healthcare and rural roads on the rise. President Irfaan Ali outlines how his government is lifting families out of poverty through hospitals, highways, and hundreds of scrap taxes. But is it enough? Plus, a historic pick for Prime Minister. The AFC makes a bold move, choosing Indigenous rights advocate Laura George as its running mate. We'll tell you how her candidacy is shaking up the campaign trail. Also, third lane madness. It's dangerous, it's illegal, and it's not going away. Traffic police crack down on rogue drivers, carving their own lanes in peak hour chaos. Can enforcement catch up? Meanwhile, clean water flowing hope. Guyana just secured $30 million to fix taps, build pipelines, and bring clean water to thousands. We'll show you where the upgrades are heading and how much more is needed to be done. And overseas, a deadly derailment. A packed train crashes in southern Germany, killing 3 and injuring dozens. What caused it, and could it have been prevented? All this and more coming up on Headline News Update. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for July 28, 2025. I'm Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, the government of Guyana has reaffirmed its commitment to reducing poverty and enhancing citizens' living standards through targeted social programs, tax relief, and substantial infrastructure investments. Speaking during a live social media broadcast on Sunday, President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali highlighted the administration's achievements, including the rollback of over 200 taxes and the introduction of 0 new taxes over the past 5 years. These reforms, he said, along with expanded access to healthcare, education, and clean water, have lifted thousands of families out of poverty.
So it's education, it's health, it's water, it's electricity, it's cooking gas, it is community wealth, it is home ownership, it is jobs, creating jobs, expanding the part-time job program, it is expanding the income source for household income. It is increasing disposable income in the pockets of families. It is support to our pensioners, not only giving them higher pension, but ensuring they have to pay less for transportation, ensuring they have to pay less for health care. It's ensuring that anyone who need a spectacle, anyone who need support for dental services, that those costs are not financed from their income, but are financed from the government and initiatives from the government. That is how we are improving quality of life. That is how we are reducing costs on the ordinary family, expanding services, and giving access to essential services and addressing poverty directly.
The president noted that among the flagship health initiatives are the construction of 12 regional hospitals and the rollout of telemedicine centers, connecting remote communities to global medical expertise. The president also spoke about and reassured citizens that more would be done for new homeowners.
So we're going to provide more subsidies, more direct support to families, especially the poorer families and the vulnerable families. Give them enough support so that they can move to home construction, so they can move to home improvement. And then work with the banks on incentivizing the system to reduce the tax burden on low income segment of the population, but at the same time, have the banks lower their interest rates so that borrowing becomes easier, less costly, and there is less collateral requirement because of a government-backed system that is skewed towards those who are poorer in our society, and that is skewed towards providing greater access and opportunity for the poorer segments of our communities.
In agriculture, the government has increased the support to farmers through subsidies, improved irrigation systems, and access to processing facilities, while also promoting youth involvement in the sector. Farmers' markets have also been introduced to provide affordable, fresh produce. President Ali emphasized that improved transportation, including new ferries, cargo vessels, and rural roads, is central to lowering costs and stimulating rural economies.
There will be specific initiative. You will see a specific initiative that would lead to the reduction of transport costs at the individual level and also for goods and services. The new ferry to service Essequibo, an additional ferry. The new ferry to service Region 1. The new cargo boats that we are building to support our farmers to bring their produce to the market, reducing the costs for those families, reducing the costs for those low-income families, and all of this is subsidized. Free transportation to move our agriculture produce like the paddy and rice from Essequibo and other areas to the central market for export. Investing in port facility to export directly from the regions themselves. Building out agro-processing hub, cold storage hubs in a different region, removing that cost from our farmers, reducing spoilage, and extending the shelf life. All of these initiatives are to support the vulnerable, are to lift every segment out of the population out of poverty.
Small business owners, fishermen, and miners are also benefiting from tax breaks and infrastructure support, the president added. The government signaled plans to continue expanding these programs in a structured manner to ensure economic growth benefits all Guyanese. In other news, as Guyana heads towards the pivotal September 1st, 2025 general and regional elections, the Alliance for Change, AFC, has named prominent Indigenous rights advocate and former teacher Laura George as its prime ministerial candidate. The announcement followed a rigorous 4-hour selection process by the party's National Executive Committee on Friday evening. George, internationally recognized for her 2 decades of advocacy on behalf of the Amerindian communities, will serve as the running mate to AFC presidential candidate Nigel Hughes. Her selection marks a strategic and symbolic move, placing a respected Indigenous voice at the heart of the party's leadership ticket. Speaking after her nomination, George vowed to champion the rights of all marginalized groups, expanding her focus beyond Indigenous advocacy to tackle broader issues of injustice, inequality, and corruption.
We have been led to a situation where it's desperate. We're desperate. But in a country that is so rich in mineral resources, in a country that has a little population, this is not how we should be living. We are supposed to be living in pride and proud to be Guyanese. We are supposed to be living and making sure that we want to live here in Guyana and develop our country, not to escape, not to believe, or not to feel that there is no hope in our country.
Hughes lauded the transparency and fairness of the internal selection process, calling it a proud moment for the party. He noted that everyone was allowed to question the candidates, and this all augurs well for the future of our party. The AFC has been ramping up its campaign with public meetings across the country and recently unveiled a slate of progressive policy proposals aimed at creating a new and prosperous republic if elected. George's appointment also comes amid increasing visibility of Indigenous leadership in national politics, as she joins another Indigenous candidate, Jurita Fernandez, of the APNU on the campaign trail. Moving on, traffic officers from several regional divisions are stepping up enforcement against the dangerous practice of illegal third-lane driving, which continues to plague Guyana's busiest roadways during peak hours. The problem is pervasive in regions 3 Essequibo Island West Demerara, 4B East Bank Demerara, and 4C East Coast Demerara, where impatient drivers create unauthorized lanes in an attempt to bypass traffic, resulting in blocked intersections and hazardous road conditions. Traffic Chief Senior Superintendent Mahendra Singh has condemned the practice, calling it dangerous and careless driving that jeopardizes the safety of pedestrians, cyclists, and other motorists. He emphasized that while drivers view these illegal lanes as a means to avoid congestion, they actually exacerbate traffic and increase the risk of accidents. To address the issue, motorcycle patrols are often deployed in high traffic areas. Several drivers have already been arrested and prosecuted, although the situation persists when the police presence is reduced. In Region 4B, over 60 drivers have been charged with careless driving, and the number continues to rise. Singh acknowledged the challenge of consistent enforcement due to a limited workforce, but proposed increased use of technology such as traffic cameras and public education campaigns to shift driving culture and promote safer behavior on the roads. The police continue to urge the public to report reckless drivers and play an active role in promoting road safety across Guyana. Stick around when we return. Newly rebuilt Kitty Police Station commissioned to boost modern policing and community safety. And Ghana secures US $30 million IDB credit to boost water and sanitation infrastructure.
Miss Shirley, help me out now, please. Why everyone telling me I must exercise my right to vote? Need that time for that? Why must I vote?
Why must you vote? That is your constitutional right and civic duty, my child. Besides, think about this. Government officials make decisions that affect the well-being of you, your family, and community. By voting for a party of your choice, you will be electing the people who will be making these very important decisions. If you don't vote, then you will allow the people who vote to choose government officials without your input. Those others may not share your views about issues that matter to you.
Wait. Is so much voting means to me? And I the playing the fool? I definitely gonna vote on election day.
For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-02779 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. How smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl, forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Ghana has received a significant boost in its drive to improve water and sanitation services, with the Inter-American Development Bank approving a US $30 million conditional credit line for investment projects. The funding will support Ghana Water Incorporated in enhancing the quality, resilience, and sustainability of its drinking water and sewage services. Over 150,000 people are expected to benefit from improved access to safe and reliable water. Key projects under the initiative include the construction of a new water treatment plant at Diamond, 15 kilometers of new transmission pipelines, and the integration of digital systems to increase efficiency, reduce operational costs, and boost revenue. Additional upgrades are ongoing in areas such as the East Bank and the East Coast of Demerara, as well as Cummins Lodge. Meanwhile, leak detection, repair efforts, and public awareness campaigns will be intensified to reduce water loss. The IDB also approved a separate over $15 million specific investment loan, complementing the government's efforts to achieve 100% potable water coverage by the end of 2025. The loan includes a 25-year repayment term, a 5.5-year grace period, and an interest rate tied to the secured overnight financing rate. It will be co-financed with an additional $36 million from the Japanese International Cooperation Agency. Over the past few years, Guyana has made transformative strides in the water sector, building treatment plants, drilling wells, and extending access to clean water across coastal and hinterland communities. In other news, the government of Guyana has officially opened the newly reconstructed Kitty Police Station, unveiling a modern facility designed to enhance law enforcement and foster public trust. The project, costing just under $192 million, was completed on time and within budget. The upgraded station now includes separate holding areas for men, women, and juveniles, as well as specially designed spaces for witness interviews, identification parades, and domestic violence cases. These changes are designed to create a safer and more respectful environment for everyone. At the commissioning ceremony, Minister of Home Affairs Robertson Ben emphasized that the new station is not just about improving infrastructure, but a reflection of the government's broader commitment to national security and community partnership. This police station represents more than just infrastructure. It reflects our unwavering commitment to national security, community trust, and responsible governance, Minister Ben stated. The facility also features offices for various departments, including the Criminal Investigation Department, Traffic Enforcement, and the Integrated Crime Information System, as well as an on-site living quarters for both senior and junior officers. To further support road safety efforts, Minister Ben and Permanent Secretary Irfaan Ali distributed protective helmets under the Do the Right Thing campaign, encouraging responsible use of safety gear. The project is part of a broader effort to modernize police services and promote professional, compassionate policing nationwide. Don't go away after the break. US and EU agree on 15% tariffs, averting transatlantic trade war. And Argentina cuts export taxes to boost the farming sector and production.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Friend, hi, give me a minute now. I want you to clear something up for me.
Okay. What is it, ma'am? Why you look so confused?
I hear all this talk about elections and voting, but I really don't understand how this could affect me.
All right. It's like this. Once you were registered by GCOM and you were 18 years or older by June 30th, 2025, you are entitled to vote, provided that you are listed in the official list of electors.
Well, I registered and I'm over 18, but how I would know if my name is on the official list of electors?
That's very easy. GCOM is displaying the official list of electors at two popular places in the community where you live. Just go there and check the list. Or you can go to GCOM's website and use the search tool.
Oh, well, thanks. I'm going and doing it now. Yeah. My name on the list. I definitely voting at elections.
Nice.
For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. 3 people were killed and 10 injured in a mass shooting at a popular night spot in Providencias in Turks and Caicos, marking the British territory's first such incident. Police says 4 suspects are involved, with no arrest yet. Commissioner Fitzbailey linked the attack to escalating gang violence, particularly in Haitian communities. Authorities are tightening immigration control. The island's hospital was placed on lockdown as a security measure following the tragedy. Argentina's farming sector is a cornerstone of the country's economy. President Javier Milei has announced a reduction in taxes on major agricultural exports, a move aimed at boosting production and easing the burden on producers. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bow reports.
It is one of the largest agricultural fairs in the world. La Rural happens every year in July. It's a time when the farming sector comes to Argentina's capital, Buenos Aires. Fabián García says Argentina has to export more.
Argentina has a crucial role to play in the global food supply. While the world's population continues to grow, food production isn't keeping pace, and livestock numbers are declining worldwide. This presents a major opportunity for Argentina.
President Javier Milei visited the fair on Saturday and delivered on a long-awaited promise: the reduction of some export taxes on key agricultural products.
The agricultural sector in Argentina has been burdened with extra taxes for over 20 years. These aren't temporary measures. It will remain in place for as long as I'm in office. We have managed to maintain the system thanks to the gains we have achieved, even in the face of constant resistance.
Argentina is a leading producer of beef, corn, and soybeans, staples that play a crucial role in this country's economy. However, export taxes have long been a source of tension between the agricultural sector and the government. And that's why President Javier Milei came to this fair, to rally support among the farming community when legislative elections are just a few months away.
Milei is implementing one of the harshest austerity plans in Argentina's history, cutting subsidies on transport and electricity, reducing public works, and reducing spending on healthcare and education. The main objective has been to reduce Argentina's soaring inflation, but Milei's measures are also having an impact across the country. Matías Longoni says Milei's announcement is a gesture towards a sector that has been a crucial supporter of his administration.
In Argentina, even soybean farming has stopped being profitable. There's simply not enough money to sustain all the players in the chain: the government, the landowners, the seed suppliers, the producers themselves. The latest announcement doesn't fix this.
President Javier Milei is convinced Argentina's agricultural sector will help deliver economic greatness. But analysts say that for this to happen, the government's economic plan will have to succeed first. Teresa Bow, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
The US and European Union have agreed to a trade deal that includes a 15% tariff on European goods entering the US and significant EU investment in the US. Al Jazeera's Jonah Hall reports.
Donald Trump called it the biggest deal he's ever done, and EU leaders have joined Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in welcoming it.
So we have good news. We've reached a deal. It's a good deal for everybody, I believe. And I think you were saying this is probably the biggest deal ever reached in any capacity, trade or beyond trade.
It will bring stability. It will bring predictability. That's very important for our businesses on both sides of the Atlantic. It's 15% tariffs across the board, all inclusive.
Just hours earlier, President Trump had been on the golf course, telling reporters the odds of a deal were 50-50. Then face-to-face talks lasted little more than an hour, with Trump explaining that the EU had agreed to invest hundreds of billions of dollars in US energy and other sectors, while US cars and agricultural products, he said, will be more widely available in EU markets. But away from Trump's Turnberry resort, there was a more frank reckoning with a 15% tariff deal agreed under pressure, narrowly beating an August 1st deadline when many countries will face Donald Trump's so-called Liberation Day tariffs.
We should not forget where we would have been on the 1st of August. We would have been at 30%. And it would have been much more difficult to get down now to the 15%. 15% is certainly a challenge for some, but we should not forget it keeps us the access to the American market.
So a deal hailed by both sides, and certainly one that alleviates the threat of a trade war between these two economic giants. But a 15% tariff figure is still more than 3 times what the EU faced before Donald Trump. A return to business this may be, but it is not a return to business as it used to be. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera at Trump Turnberry in the west of Scotland.
At least 3 people have been killed and dozens more injured after a train derailed in southern Germany. Officials says about 100 people were on board when 2 carriages derailed. Al Jazeera's Negres Mobalagi reports.
This is the aftermath of a deadly train crash in southern Germany. Approximately 100 people were on board when at least 2 of its 4 carriages derailed in a forested area near Riedlingen, about 150 kilometres west of Munich. Local authorities have called it a mass casualty incident.
Of the approximately 50 injured, a large number have minor injuries, but there's also around a third with very serious injuries. They were transported away quickly.
Rescuers worked through the night, climbing through the carriages, searching for survivors.
As for the cause of the accident, nothing conclusive can be said yet. This is, of course, the subject of investigation. We have no indications of an attack, an assault, or anything of that nature.
Storms passed through the area before the crash, and police are investigating if the rain was a factor. Eyewitnesses say they were clearing up after the storm when they heard a big bang.
Because of the storm, mud had been washed off the field onto the road. My son went to clear the debris, and then he heard a big bang. He went to look, a tree had fallen, and then he saw the train up there and dead bodies.
Deutsche Bahn, Germany's main national railway operator, said in a statement that it was cooperating with investigators. Local authorities say all passengers have been accounted for and the area is secured. Nagis Mobalari, Al Jazeera.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3D weather forecast. And that's Safe TV2 Headline News for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.